Russia has been bashed by Western media ever since the conflict began. Strict sanctions imposed by the US have made it almost impossible for Americans to travel there. And the constant fear-mongering suggests that the moment you touch down on Russian soil, you'll be sent directly to the front lines. But is that really the truth? Since the beginning of the conflict, traveling to Russia might sound insane. Like, why do you even want to go there? They're at war, it's dangerous, and they don't like Americans, right? A lot of Europeans and overall a lot of Americans, they fear coming to Russia, getting sent to the front lines. Well, I'm here living in Russia right now. I am not an American, but I do live here for more than 2 years, and I've been working with Americans. Americans especially, they have the feeling that when they touch Russian soil, they will be treated as an enemy, which is not true at all. My goal here is to show you the real Russia. I feel like there's a ton of content creators about Russia, and there's also a lot of anti-Russian creators in YouTube, in other social media platforms, and it's either demonize it completely or just be completely biased, say that it's the best country of the world, say that it's completely safe. And let's just be honest here, there's no such thing as a country that is completely safe. Not even Switzerland, which is considered the dream country where everything is perfect, the law works. My family, for example, when they were there in Switzerland, they got scammed very hard. They lost, I think, $3,000 for a car. There was a dent in the car, which actually there was no dent. They gave the car in perfect conditions, and they still had to pay because they were not there anymore. So what choice do they have? Of course, I'm stating the obvious here. There's no such thing as a perfect country. There's no such thing as a safe country, or at least there's no such thing as a completely safe country. And today I want to be as unbiased as I can and show you just facts, just data and statistics, which will help you make your decision. Should I go to Russia or not? Should I travel there? Let's just start talking about the safety concerns that people have when they want to travel to Russia and why they're valid, and why they are not valid sometimes, because not always what they say in the media is correct. I'm gonna read this from the internet, but you can do your research after. It's written here that there's a no help warning. The US Embassy in Moscow operates with very limited staff, and all consulates like those in St. Petersburg or Vladivostok are closed. And that's true. Yes, I've been there in the consulate in Moscow and it is closed. It is not advised to travel to Russia because they say that media reinforces that if an American is arrested, the US government may have zero ability to reach them. Well, it is true that the American embassy might have no power to reach you if you do something illegal, or if you're just arrested for some reason, they might not be able to help you. It was always been like that, even before the war. If you do something illegal in another country which is not your country, they might arrest you, and your embassy might have no power whatsoever to help you. It has been like that for years. It is not something new, not something that appeared now. Now, political arrest, this is already something different because it implies that you're a spy or you work for the government and you were traveling and they arrest you for no reason whatsoever. So let's talk a little bit about this, the political arrests. If you are a political figure and you are an American from the USA and you want to travel here to Russia and you know the rules and you know that they are in a conflict right now, why would you come here to protest, to make a point? It just doesn't make sense. So I guess this is just the media trying to trick you to think that you are a political figure, but you're just a normal citizen. You're a normal American citizen. Although I never had a political American client, I had a lot of normal citizen Americans who came here to Russia and they loved it. There is a quote, I don't know who said that. Maybe it was the president of Russia, but he says, if you guys think that Russian propaganda is so good, just look at the GDP of the USA. They basically have what, 10 times plus our GDP. So who do you think have better propaganda? The one with more money, more power, or the one with less money and less power? So that's for you to think about. and not just rely on the Western media and not just rely on the internet. Just go for yourself. Come here. I am currently in a very small city called Stirlitamak. It is 1,500 kilometers away from Moscow. I have never seen not even one attack here. Drones. When I was in Moscow, also I never even heard. I never saw it. I never experienced fear. And yes, don't expect the embassy to just work for you, to just help you. If you do something illegal, if you come here with good intentions, you will not be detained, you will not be arrested. You're just gonna have a good time. And I feel sorry for those who are only fed by propaganda and they think that Russia is inherently just this bad country that don't like the Americans. They hate them. And well, if you come here, if you have the opportunity to come here one day, you will see that they actually love you guys because they grew up watching your movies, your series, and all of that. This is very Russian too. It is not just an American thing. Not the old Russians though. The Soviets, they didn't watch your movies, I guess, but they also have a strong feeling about the movies, even though they watched it after the dissolution of the Soviet Union. Now, the second point they use to avoid traveling to Russia, to make you scared, it is the financial isolation. Reports emphasize that US credit and debit cards do not work due to sanctions. That is true, leaving travelers potentially stranded without access to funds. Yes, it is true. Um, this is unfortunately one of the negative parts of traveling to Russia. You really cannot rely on your credit card, and your debit card, Visa and MasterCard here don't work. And not just because of the Russian government, this is just a sanction imposed onto the Russian government, the Russian banking systems. And this is actually not a hard fix. Yes, you will not have access to your banks, but you can just bring money if you might, or you can just open a bank account here. And that's actually what I do. I help my clients come here, feel safe, have a nice trip. I open them a bank account. I help them have a SIM card. I pay for the bookings. I do the bookings. I search for hotels. I search for domestic flights and all of this hard bureaucracy that, being honest, just became a nightmare for the average citizen. But once again, that is not only for Americans, especially because it implies that only American citizens are being blocked from bringing their money. But everybody who has a Visa and a MasterCard cannot just come here and pay for the bookings, reserve, pay for the domestic flights, food. So everybody's playing by the same rules. Everybody outside Russia and China, they use Visa or MasterCard. Even I, when I came here to Russia, my debit card, my credit card, it just stopped working. You can just make a bank account here. And the first day you arrive to Russia, it's really not hard at all. Now let's see if it's really safe, even with the armed conflict right now that Russia is having with Ukraine. A lot of people who avoid traveling to Russia, it is just safety concerns, right? They just don't want a drone to fall on their head out of nowhere. So let's clear this out of the way. I think that's just a big myth. It is actually mm, not likely that a drone will just fall on your face out of nowhere. And again, let's do it by statistics and data and facts, not only opinions. So, drone strikes, frequent reporting on drone attacks in major cities like Moscow and St. Petersburg to suggest the war is no longer far away. Now, what do you think is the number of tourists that came here to Russia since the beginning of the conflict and has died from a drone strike? Zero. Nobody has died yet. And that tells you everything. I don't even need to convince you, or I don't want to convince you actually. It's just very silly to say, I don't want to go to Russia because they're at war and there's drones and it might fall on my head. So, yes, what if anything, right? The probability of this happening is very low, almost zero. So, you can come here in Russia safely. I'm here at the river. As you can see, there's no drones. There's nothing actually happening. It's just me talking with a camera. So that's what I wanted to say. This is my first video I hope you liked the points I made. I hope you will not take this personally to you. If you don't want to travel to Russia, just don't do it. I'm not trying to convince you to nothing. I just want to make it clear for the ones who do want to travel here that it's safe and it is a very beautiful country. You're going to miss out if you just cancel your trip because you hear some rumors that it's not safe. And I had a lot of clients from America. As I said in the beginning of this video, they all have the same doubt. They always come here with the same questions. So I thought, why not make a video about it anyways? I'm gonna start posting more and more about Russia as I do live here and I love this country. And if you like this video, please consider subscribing. I'm a starting channel here in YouTube. I really want to show you all of Russia. The channel name, of course, it's all of Russia. So I really just wanna travel, go everywhere, and show you what Russia really is like. I'm also gonna leave right here in the description below all of my social media accounts and all of my contacts. If you wanna talk with me, just send me a message, just send me an email, and let's talk. What do you think I should do in the next video? Just comment here. I'm gonna talk with all of you, and thank you for watching.